Seniors. Over 60. Poor leg circulation. Do these 4 moves before it gets worse. I'm Dr. Alina Serratia, and if you are over 60 and you've started noticing cold feet, heavy legs, ankle swelling, calf tightness, numb toes, or that tired, dragging feeling when you walk, I need you to hear me clearly. Do not ignore it. Too many older adults assume poor leg circulation is just part of aging. They say, well, I'm getting older. Of course my legs aren't what they used to be. But that mindset is exactly what allows a manageable problem to quietly become a bigger one. And let me be very honest with you from the beginning. When I talk about poor leg circulation, I am not talking about a tiny cosmetic issue. I am talking about a pattern that can affect your walking, your balance, your energy, your independence, and in some cases, your safety. Because when blood flow to the lower body is not being supported well, your legs often tell the story before the rest of your body does. They feel stiff. They feel weak. They feel cold. They cramp more. They fatigue faster. You move less. And once you start moving less, the entire cycle gets worse. That is why in this video, I want to show you 4 simple moves I recommend before circulation problems in the legs get worse. These are not gym exercises. These are not intense workouts. And they are not meant to replace medical care if you have serious pain, sudden swelling, wounds, severe cramping, or diagnosed vascular disease. But these 4 moves can help wake up the muscles, support blood flow, reduce stiffness, and encourage your lower body to work with you instead of against you. And please stay with me until the end, because the 4th move is one of the most overlooked circulation-supporting movements for older adults. Yet it may be one of the most powerful if walking has become difficult. Before I give you the moves, I want to explain something that almost nobody says clearly enough. Good circulation in the legs is not just about your arteries. Yes, blood vessels matter, but so do your calf muscles, your ankles, your nerves, your hydration, your posture, your activity level, and how long you stay in one position. Your body depends on movement to help move blood back up from the feet and lower legs. In fact, your calf muscles act like a second pump. Every time you walk or flex your ankles, those muscles help push blood upward. But if you sit for hours, stand in one place too long, or stop using your legs normally, blood and fluid can start to pool. Then come the heaviness, the swelling, the fatigue, and that feeling that your legs are aging faster than the rest of you. This is why I get concerned when a senior tells me, I used to walk fine, but now my legs feel tired so quickly, or my feet are always cold, or by the end of the day, my ankles look puffy, or I feel like I need to stop after just a short distance. Those are not the kinds of changes I want you brushing aside for 6 months or a year, because once movement decreases, strength decreases. Once strength decreases, circulation gets even worse. Once circulation feels worse, you move even less. And that cycle can quietly shrink your life. So let me give you the first move. Move number 1, ankle pumps. This is the simplest move on the list, and that is exactly why so many people underestimate it. But I want you to remember this. Simple does not mean weak. Sometimes, the most powerful circulation move is the one you can actually do every day. Here is how I want you to do it. Sit upright in a sturdy chair or lie comfortably on your bed. Extend your legs slightly if you can. Then point your toes away from you like you are pressing on a gas pedal. After that, pull your toes back toward your shins as far as you comfortably can. That is 1 repetition. I want you to do this slowly, with control, for 20 to 30 repetitions. Why do I love this move so much? Because it wakes up the ankle joint, activates the lower leg muscles, and helps encourage blood flow without requiring you to stand, balance, or walk. For older adults who sit a lot, this is especially helpful. If you spend long periods watching television, reading, traveling, or resting with your feet down, fluid tends to settle. Ankle pumps interrupt that stillness. They tell the lower legs, wake up, start moving things again. I also recommend this move because it is accessible. If you are very deconditioned, you can still do it. If your knees bother you, you can still do it. If you are not ready for full exercise, you can still do it. And if your feet tend to swell or feel numb by the evening, ankle pumps can be one of the gentlest ways to start supporting circulation again. Now let me add one important detail. Do not rush this move. Fast, sloppy repetitions are not the goal. Slow movement creates better muscle engagement and better awareness. Feel your calves tighten slightly as you pull the toes back. Feel the front of the lower leg engage as you move through the motion. This is not just toe wiggling. This is deliberate circulation support. Move number 2, seated calf raises. If ankle pumps are the warm-up, seated calf raises are the next step. This move is excellent because it directly engages the calf muscles. And as I told you earlier, those muscles are essential for helping move blood back up the legs. Sit tall in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor. Keep your knees bent at about 90 degrees. Then press the balls of your feet into the ground and lift your heels upward as high as you comfortably can. Hold for a second. Then lower them back down slowly. That is 1 repetition. Start with 15 repetitions, rest, and then do another set if you feel comfortable. Now, why is this move so useful for seniors with poor circulation? Because every time the calves contract, they help squeeze the veins and encourage blood to move upward instead of settling downward. That matters enormously if your legs feel heavy, sluggish, or swollen by the end of the day. I also like seated calf raises because they help restore something many older adults lose without realizing it: lower leg endurance. Sometimes a person says, "My circulation is bad," but what they are really describing is a combination of poor blood flow, weak calf function, too much sitting, and too little muscle activity. Seated calf raises begin to address that. They are gentle, but they are not meaningless. Done consistently, they can help the legs feel more alive, less stagnant, and more prepared for walking. And if you want to increase the benefit slightly, you can perform the movement 1 leg at a time and really focus on the squeeze. But only do that if you feel steady and comfortable. The goal is not strain. The goal is activation. Now I want to pause here and give you an important warning. If you have severe pain in the calf, one-sided swelling, sudden redness, or unexplained tenderness, do not just exercise through it. That is not the time for a chair routine and wishful thinking. That is the time to get medical advice. These moves are for gradual circulation support, not for ignoring warning signs. Move number 3, marching in place while holding support. This is where we start bridging the gap between sitting and walking. One reason circulation gets worse in older adults is not simply age. It is reduced regular movement. People begin spending more time seated. They stop taking short walks around the house. They avoid stairs. They become cautious, then inactive. But circulation loves motion. So I need you moving in a way that is safe, realistic, and repeatable. Stand behind a sturdy chair or at a kitchen counter where you can hold on if needed. Lift one knee gently, then lower it. Lift the other knee, then lower it. Continue marching in place slowly for 20 to 40 steps, depending on your strength and balance. This move does several helpful things at once. It activates the hips, thighs, calves, and ankles. It increases circulation to the lower body. It encourages weight shifting, which helps your balance system stay engaged. And it mimics the mechanics of walking without requiring you to leave the room or commit to a long distance. I especially recommend this move for older adults who say things like, "I want to walk more, but my legs feel stiff when I first get up." Or, "Once I get started, I do better, but the beginning is hard." Marching in place is a beautiful transition move. It helps your body prepare for walking by gently waking everything up. And here is something else I want you to understand. Sometimes poor circulation is made worse by fear. Not just physiology, but fear. Fear of falling. Fear of pain, fear of weakness, and fear causes people to freeze. They move less, hold themselves tighter, and avoid the very motions that could help them. Marching in place gives you a safer way to tell your nervous system, "I can still move, my legs can still work, I am not done yet." That matters more than many people realize. If lifting the knees feels difficult, start small. Your knees do not need to come high. Even a gentle march is useful. And if standing is too much today, go back to ankle pumps and seated calf raises until you are ready. progress is still progress. Move number 4, heel-to-toe rocking. This is one of my favorite movements for seniors because it combines circulation support with balance awareness and foot activation. And yet most older adults have never been taught it. Stand holding onto a stable counter, chair, or sturdy surface. Begin with your feet about hip-width apart. Slowly rise onto your toes, lifting your heels off the floor. Then slowly rock back onto your heels so your toes lift slightly. Go back and forth in a controlled, gentle rhythm. If lifting the toes fully is too difficult, simply shift your weight backward and forward without forcing the movement. This move matters because it works the calf muscles, the front of the lower legs, the feet, and the ankle joints all at once. It helps the body rehearse the natural rolling motion of walking. It also supports the muscle pump effect that helps move blood upward. In older adults with stiff ankles, tired feet, or a shuffling gait, heel-to-toe rocking can be incredibly helpful. And let me tell you why I call this an overlooked move. Many seniors focus only on walking distance. They think if they can't walk a mile, then nothing counts. That is simply not true. Good circulation is supported by repeated small movements throughout the day. Heel-to-toe rocking is one of those movements. It teaches the lower legs to work again. It helps the feet stop acting like passive blocks at the bottom of the body. And in some people, it reduces that wooden, stuck feeling they get when they first stand up. Now, if balance is an issue, keep both hands on support. There is no prize for doing this hands-free. Safety first. Always. At this point, you may be wondering, Dr. Serratia, how often should I do these moves? My answer is this. Consistency is more important than intensity. I would rather see you do these moves for 5 to 10 minutes every day than push too hard once and then stop for a week. A simple starting routine could look like this: 20 ankle pumps, 15 seated calf raises, 20 slow marching steps in place, and 10 to 15 heel-to-toe rocks. Rest when needed. Breathe normally. Do not hold your breath. And if you want even more benefit, repeat the routine once in the morning and once in the evening. Now let us talk about what these moves can help with. They may help reduce leg heaviness. They may support better ankle mobility. They may decrease that stagnant feeling after long sitting. They may help the legs feel warmer. They may make walking feel easier at the start. They may reduce mild swelling from inactivity, and perhaps most importantly, they may restore your confidence in using your legs again. But I also need to tell you what they do not do. They do not cure blocked arteries. They do not treat blood clots. They do not replace evaluation for severe vascular disease. They do not fix serious diabetic complications overnight. If you have severe pain when walking, skin wounds that are not healing, toes turning blue, or major one-sided symptoms, you need proper medical care. Do not use a home routine to avoid getting checked. Now let me share something I see often in older adults. The person notices cold feet and assumes it is only circulation. Another notices numb toes and assumes it is circulation. Another notices weak legs and assumes it is circulation. But sometimes the picture is more mixed. Nerve problems, diabetes, dehydration, low activity, tight calf muscles, medication side effects, and even vitamin deficiencies can all contribute to how the legs feel. That is why these 4 moves are so useful. They support circulation, yes, but they also support movement quality, joint mobility, muscle activity, and body awareness. In other words, they help the entire lower leg system work better. And when the lower leg system works better, the legs often feel better. I also want to talk about timing, because timing matters more than people think. If your legs feel worse in the morning, do these moves after you wake up to loosen the ankles and calves before walking much. If your legs feel heavy in the evening, do them before dinner or before bed. If you sit for long stretches during the day, stand up every hour or so and do a shorter version. Blood flow responds to repeated encouragement, not occasional panic. Here is another point I want every senior listening to understand. Walking is important, but walking is easier when the body is prepared for walking. Too many people try to jump straight from inactivity into long walks. Their calves tighten, their feet ache, and then they conclude that exercise is not for them. But if you first wake up the ankles, calves, and balance system with these 4 moves, walking often feels much more manageable. Think of these moves as a gateway. They make movement more possible. Now let me address a very common emotional barrier. Some older adults feel embarrassed doing basic exercises because they think, this is too simple, I should be doing more. Please do not let pride rob you of progress. I have seen seniors improve their mobility, comfort, and confidence with movements that look almost too easy to matter. Why? Because they actually did them. Small actions done daily can beat grand intentions done rarely. And let us be honest, when people say they want better circulation, what they really want is not prettier ankles. They want to walk longer without stopping. They want their feet to feel warm again. They want less cramping at night. They want to stand up without feeling stiff. They want to go to the store, cook dinner, visit family, and live without constantly negotiating with their legs. That is why I care so much about these movements. They are not abstract. They are practical. They support real life. I also recommend pairing these moves with a few circulation-friendly habits. First, do not sit for hours without moving. Even standing and doing ankle pumps for a minute helps. Second, hydrate properly through the day. Dehydration makes everything harder on the legs. Third, watch your sodium intake if swelling is part of the problem. Fourth, wear supportive shoes instead of flat, unsupportive slippers all day. And fifth, if you smoke, know that smoking is one of the worst things for circulation. Your legs cannot thrive if your blood vessels are constantly being challenged. Now let me give you a simple 4-move routine exactly as I would say it to one of my own patients. Sit down. Take a breath. Start with 20 slow ankle pumps. Now place both feet flat and do 15 seated calf raises. Stand up with support and march in place for 20 to 40 steps. Then finish with 10 to 15 slow heel-to-toe rocks. That is it. You are done in just a few minutes. But if you do that every day, you are giving your lower body a message it desperately needs to hear. Keep working, keep pumping, keep moving. If you are more advanced and want to build on this, you can add short hallway walks after the routine. Even 2 to 5 minutes counts. The point is not to exhaust yourself. The point is to maintain motion and prevent decline. Now I want to speak to the sons, daughters, spouses, and caregivers listening. If an older adult in your life keeps saying their legs are heavy, their feet are cold, or walking is getting harder, please do not brush them off and do not assume it is laziness. Sometimes people move less because movement has become uncomfortable, frightening, or discouraging. Encourage them gently. Do the routine with them if needed. Help them create a safe place near a chair or counter. Sometimes a little support is what keeps a small circulation issue from becoming a major mobility problem. Let me also address a myth. Many seniors think that if their feet are cold, they should just wear thicker socks and that solves the issue. Warm socks can help comfort, yes, but warmth is not the same as circulation. If the legs are weak, the ankles are stiff, and the body is barely moving, the solution is not only external heat. The body often needs internal movement. That is what these 4 moves provide. Another myth is that leg problems only matter if they are painful. Not true. Sometimes the earliest signs are not pain at all. They are heaviness, tightness, slower walking, stiffness on standing, mild swelling, restless calves, or that sense that your legs do not feel as responsive as they used to. Those subtle changes matter. They are often the whisper before the shout. So if you have been waiting for a sign to take your leg circulation seriously, let this be it. I'm not asking you to train like an athlete. I'm asking you to protect your independence. I'm asking you to help your body do what it was designed to do. Move blood, use muscles, and keep you active for as long as possible. Because after 60, the goal is not perfection. The goal is preservation. The goal is function. The goal is staying capable. And that is exactly why these 4 moves matter so much. They are simple enough to begin today, gentle enough for most seniors, and effective enough to become part of a real prevention strategy. Let me quickly recap them for you. Move 1. Ankle pumps to wake up the lower legs and support blood flow. Move 2. Seated calf raises to activate the calf muscles that help push blood upward. Move 3. Marching in place with support to reconnect the hips, thighs, calves, and feet with safe movement. Move 4. Heel to toe rocking to improve circulation, foot activation, and balance awareness all at once. If you do these moves regularly, you are not just exercising. You are interrupting decline. You are giving your legs a better chance to stay functional, responsive, and supportive. And please remember this final point. If your symptoms are getting worse, if walking is painful, if swelling is severe, if one foot changes color, if sores are not healing, or if numbness is becoming more pronounced, do not stop at a chair routine. Get evaluated. There is wisdom in prevention, but there is also wisdom in knowing when you need more than prevention. I'm Dr. Alina Serratia, and if you are over 60, I want you to stop waiting for your legs to magically improve on their own. Help them now, while they can still respond. Help them before heaviness becomes limitation. Help them before stiffness becomes fear. Help them before poor circulation steals confidence from your daily life. Start with these 4 moves. Start gently. Start safely. But most importantly, start now. Because the longer you wait, the easier it becomes for the legs to get weaker, colder, stiffer, and harder to trust. And the good news is, sometimes real improvement begins with something much smaller than people expect. Not a prescription, not a machine, not a miracle. Just a few smart, steady movements that remind your body how to move blood, support your legs, and keep you living the life you still want to live.